Am I the villain? Just watch and find out.
Only shooting stars break the mold.
Hello everybody and welcome to Brawl Stars. I'm Amy the Amazonian and today I'm being the bad guy with Saruman of many colors. This is an Esper control deck. It's got counterspells, kill spells, exiling spells, and planeswalkers galore. I am not really building around Saruman at all in this deck, because I don't need to. Saruman of many colors is payoff on his own. If he's on the battlefield and you cast 2 spells in a turn, which could just be something like a Mana Rock, the Celestus, and a Planeswalker, great. Or maybe you have him on the battlefield and you counter one of your opponent's spells in and kill one of their creatures on their turn. Even better, you get value. Saruman of many colors is an incredibly powerful card, in part because it protects itself so well. It has a ward ability that forces your opponent to discard, but not just discard a specific card, an enchantment, an instant, or a sorcery card. And then when you cast your second spell during a turn, you get to steal that card from their graveyard and cast it. It has to be less than the cost of the second spell you cast during your turn, but that's absolutely doable because people play a good curve of cards in Historic Brawl, so maybe you'll get something that costs 1, 2, 3, or 4 when you cast something like a 5-cost Planeswalker. Saruman of many colors is a pretty nasty card to go up against, though, and I gotta say, I've been having a good time being the bad guy. We also have some cards in here that are helping us stay alive across long games and shuffling extra value into our deck. Cards like the Celestus give us filtering. They help me fill my graveyard. This card here, Saruman's Orb, is actually going to be milling us and drawing us cards or burning our opponent over time. This is mostly in the deck for flavor, but I'm not really all about that flavor because I don't need to be. We've got the Midnight Clock, so I can get some mana in the beginning of the game and draw a bunch of cards in the middle and end of the game. We also have Risco to do the exact same thing, making a clock. Love that. Also draining our opponent. Tasha, getting rid of creatures. Kaya, stealing enchantments and creatures, removing them from the board, gaining us life. We've got counterspells, kill spells, punishing our opponent for drawing cards with Orcish Bowmasters and Shuldred, and of course, stopping our opponents from drawing extra cards with Narset Parter of Veils. Because, again, the villain. We're playing some of the meanest cards in this deck, and that's okay. Just don't do it too often. So we're going to take Saruman into the queue and, be the villain. Marwyn, the Nurturer! It's elves. Y'all know what elves do. They go wide. They play Craterhoof Behemoth. And hopefully we'll be able to board wipe our way to victory. Hello there, Elvish Reclaimer. Get down an Irrigated Farmland since it does come into play tapped. And now Cave of the Frost Dragon into Coldsteel Heart, naming black. This Elvish Reclaimer is able to sacrifice lands in order to find another land. Line up the shot. Ooh, they want to destroy my Coldsteel Heart. Marwyn, by the way, cares about casting elves, having elves enter the battlefield, and then tapping her for big amounts of mana. She's great in, like, Tyvar decks as well, since they offer ways to untap her multiple times per turn. They're going for the Naturalize. A 1-for-1, no Coldsteel Heart. Swing for 1. Cool. As far as things that I can cast right here, they just used a Naturalize. I could hold a Counterspell, but wouldn't it be neat to get down a thematic artifact? Ooh, alright, we got Inquisition of Kozilek, and Infernal Grasp. Let's see. They'll either get to mill it or let me keep it. I'm actually going to keep both on top here. That's what I expected. I put the more expensive card on top so they lost 2 life. And we have Inquisition of Kozilek, which is almost certainly going to hit something against an Elves deck. It's an Elf deck. Everything costs, like, 3 mana. But for Incubation Druid, not for Marwyn. Show me your secrets. Show me your elves. Galligrator, Snakeskin Veil, Stony Strength, and Regrowth. They can protect, but not from counterspells. If there was a Veil of Summer in there, I think I probably would have hit that. Counter of Orthanc, or however the heck you say that, triggers again. Okay, they milled both cards. They lose 4 life. We've got a Disallow at the ready. Marwyn! No Marwyns. Abundant Harvest. Choosing land. Playing the land. They'll be able to protect from some targeting abilities. They also have Snakeskin Veil, which they can use on Incubation Druid to essentially gain 2 mana per turn. The same thing works with Stony Strength, which also untaps it. Lots of ways for them to get a lot of mana here. I'm going to play Tasha. I'm going to plus. This Tasha is going to make it really stink if they want to attack me. And on top of that, will give me a way to steal creatures from their deck. Alright, so we have a Teferi on top. That's a high mana value card, which is going to be good for this thing. And a Tail's End. Alright, I'm keeping both on top. Would you like to mill? Alright, the third card was a land. They're down to 13 life. I haven't hit them. 100% Heart of the Orbs. Are you a dirtily deck who just wants a silly little win con? This? People are very, very unwilling to let you draw cards. Especially after scrying. There's that Naturalize. Good for them. Plussing again with Tasha.
Give it your best shot.
And I'll just play Saruman. Right now we know 2 of the 3 cards in their hand. We know they have the grand ability to ramp. They can definitely get out Marwyn next turn. But like... So? What else you got for me? Gonna bring Tasha up to 7. I'm going to hold these nice little interactive cards. We have a Counterspell, we have a big draw and discount. It doesn't technically draw, it puts cards into hand. And we have a counter critter here. So Fierce Empath will get them their big spell. It'll get them their finisher. And that finisher is probably going to be a Crater Hoof Behemoth, which we can counter. Don't need to counter the tuner if we can counter the spell. Ah, the hoof! They have enough mana to play Crater Hoof Behemoth here, if they would like to. Dang, looking good. Okay, I do. Yes, I do. Alright. Authority of the Consuls. Wrath of God. None of these give indestructible. Just mana. They can use Elvish Reclaimer. Grabbing a land. I wonder what land they'll get. Probably something like Castle Garenbrig, Alert to Hydra. Yeah, that's what I expected. Do a wee bit of milling. Oh, that's actually perfect. I'm gonna use Momentous Fall, sacrificing my Saruman, because it would be destroyed by Wrath of God anyway. Draw a whole damn bunch of cards. Wipe the board. Tasha, Tasha, what do you see? A couple of cards just for me. Nice! We steal 3 creatures out of their deck. We're gonna still be able to play more cards, protect ourselves with Teferi's protection, and got counter spells as well. Anything that doesn't already exist on this battlefield will be coming into play tapped. I'm gonna say that's a GG. GG Marwyn. 5 colors of spells with Cody Vociferous Codex. This is definitely a keepable hand. We've got 2 lands, and yes, they are on 1 color, but I've got a Coldsteel Heart and an Arcane Signet to follow up. So even though I can't do anything right away, I'll be able to do something soon. I'm going to prioritize getting blue since we have a bunch of blue spells in hand, and then this will give us a white source. Nice. We even have a Void Rend. So just for the sake of mana efficiency, I could play Midnight Clock, but against Cody, I would actually rather hold up 2 mana for this Negate. our opponent with Cody is going to be casting almost entirely non-permanent spells. Because once Cody's out, they can't cast permanent spells. They might be doing a little bit of ramping here, but once Cody's down, all we have to worry about is this. And we actually get a nasty 2-for-1 right here. Seize the spoils. They had to discard for that card. We get a 2-for-1, and our opponent's having none of it, so they leave. GG Cody. Etali Primal Conqueror. It's the dino that does the crimo. And I only have 2 mana in this hand. Am I willing to keep? No counter spells. Some potential ramp. I am going to keep this, but I'll say it is a risky keep. Etali is going to be trying to ramp out to their big, giant dino commander. When they cast it, they get the top spell of each player's deck. They get to cast it for free. And, I mean, Etali's just a great card on its own, too. And I won't be able to counter because they just got a delighted halfling out. Hello there, little halfling. What else do you have? A goose, a mystic, a heart? A Titan of Industry. I'm going to hit the Titan. They have all these pieces of ramp here, and I can't hit them all, so I may as well hit their other ramp target that's not Etali. Coldsteel Heart. Probably followed by, oh wait, no, they didn't tap their halfling, so they only have colorless mana now. I guess whoopsie-doopsie. I don't need to ramp. I need to exile. So I'm going to kill this delighted halfling. He's like, what? No. And hopefully I'll get a counterspell by the time they get the 7 mana. I also just got rid of one of their red sources, which is kind of sweet. All right, Hedron Archive. Wait a minute. It might just be Etali next turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This comes into the battlefield tap, but if they get another land... well, they're gaming. And there's nothing I can do about it, so we may as well play the clock. And see what happens. What is this card in their hand? It's not a land. Oh, but there's a Nissa! Hey, Nissa. You should animate a bunch of things so I can exile them. I like the idea of them hitting the forest, attacking me, and then double smelling. All right, so they're not even going for the 3 damage here. This just gives me the juiciest Sunfall. They do have a forest, so they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 mana next turn with Nissa untapping. I think we save the Sunfall. Go for Ashiok. If I'm minus, right now on Nissa, they will still be able to play Etali, but I am getting rid of this Nissa permanently. The Etali is very likely to hit a kill or counter spell from me, since that's what most of our spells are. Alright, and they hit a Shatterskull Smashing on their side, and an Infernal Grasp. So, 2 completely useless spells. Lucky me. Oh, I mean, they're not completely useless. They could technically lose 2 life and kill one of their own creatures. But I don't think they want to. Oh no, Ashiok's dead. Time to pay a life and exile all these creatures. I now have a 4/4 in waiting. It's currently just an incubator, but it can turn into a 4/4 Phyrexian on my command for the low cost of 2 mana. Invasion of Zendikar gets them 2 basics, throws them into the battlefield tapped. Look at you ramping. Gotta discover the formula. I have Saruman. I don't have enough for Saruman and the counterspell though, so I am just going to chill here on my Discover and my Disdainful Stroke. I have exactly 6 mana. And if they cast Etali, we counter it. And then we transform. Transform! Whoosh! This is now up to 8 on my midnight clock. So I'm just going to do this at a slow sorcery speed and swing. I don't feel like playing pretend. I just want to click my buttons. Me, the bad guy? Yeah. I am the bad guy. Have you seen this deck? All I know in this world is Esper control. That's all I will ever know. GG, opponent. Minsk and Boo, Timeless Heroes. A powerful duo and a planeswalker that comes with a friend. And if that friend happens to die, you get another one. Minsk and Boo is one of the most powerful planeswalker commanders. In fact, it's so powerful that it's actually banned in 1v1 Commander. Yeah, that's real. The Minsk and Boo in Arena does cost one more than its paper counterpart, but it's still really good. They did a turn 1 ramp, and I'm actually going to Bolt the Elf, or shoot it down, we should say, with the Orcish Bowmasters. Yeah, this card can kill a Llanowar Elf when it enters the battlefield, and whenever our opponent, you know, draws some cards, they're in Drool, so they might not do that much of that, I'll be hitting them. It'll be great. Ooh, Ozolith! Somebody's actually relying on those +1/+1 counters that they put onto Boo. I don't have anything that costs 3 mana here, so I will just play this land and pass. I realize now that our Seachrome Coast will be coming in tapped, and that's okay. Listen, I'll do fine. Lelia! Make disappear. I do have things that cost 4 mana. I'm going to throw down Key to the Archive. Use it to get eeny, meeny, miny toots. Drop the Seachrome Coast. And swing in for another 2. Boom, bow. I felt comfortable playing Key to the Archive rather than holding open my counter spells because they only have 3 mana here. Monkey! But they dashed the monkey in. They're hitting me. They're making a treasure. And they're stealing the top card of my deck, which is Absorb. Thankfully, they can't use that. And they're conceding. Because, well, I have all the mana. I have all the reaction spells. This monkey's just gonna be gone. We're winning this game. GG. Hi, Shelob. Shelob the spider gives all your spiders Death Touch and Ward 2, including herself, and when you kill a creature using the power of one of your spiders, it has to be specifically damage dealt by a spider, you make a copy of that dead creature, but it's a food instead of being a creature. It's all wrapped up in your web. Now this hand looks like it doesn't have a lot going on early, because it doesn't, but it has things going on in the middle and the end game, and I know that this deck is going to be trying to ramp and maybe doing a little bit in the meantime, but it's not that scary until the Shelob comes down. And the reason for that is kind of sad. It's a little disappointing. It's because spiders aren't that strong. There's not that many spiders, so they'll do what they can while they can, but we feel pretty safe on the early turns. Hey, Etria, thank you for the 29-month resub. You're gonna love this deck, Etria, because it's all about control.
Welcome back, Amy. Hope you had fun.
I did have fun, and you'll be seeing me in like a month on a Commander channel you might have heard of. Ah, they got rid of my Saw It Coming. They saw it coming. Well, that means I'll just throw down Rafine's Tower. This will come in tapped beyond our 3rd land, so that should be my next land I play. But they've seen my hand. They know what goods I've got. Ooh, the Cruelty of Gix. Make me discard that Teferi, Hero of Dominaria. Very smart. Right now, there's no creatures for them to reanimate, but they can certainly find something on Chapter 2 that will help them out. Courtyard and Clock. They've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana. Is it time for Shelob? See if they get a land here. I mean, they could even tutor for a land. There is zero shame in using a tutor to search for a land. Even if it's just a basic land, it doesn't matter. It's still good. This is coming from somebody who has absolutely cast Demonic Tutor and gotten a land multiple times. That is actually probably the most commonly tutored for card in my life. Oh, all right, they have a 6th land here. I do wonder if they tutored for it. Ah, yes, a Casualties of War gonna set me back 2 mana. Nasty. but it means that there's no creatures for them to reanimate on Cruelty of Gix. So, while yeah, that does stink, that's fine. I'm not dead yet. They're not getting a lot of value out of that spell. And Baleful Mastery, I can't currently use it to get rid of their commander because of the Ward 2, but next turn after I untap, I will be able to. They'll be drawing a card out of it, though. Hi, Shelob! Ooh, Shelobin. Ah, you're one turn too late, Disdainful Stroke. I'll just do this now, in case they get a protective spell, which is the sort of thing that you can run in Shelob. I pay the 2. They draw a card, but there's no 8/8 spider. Because 8/8 spider kills the me. The key to the archives! And a terrible construction noise outside. What are y'all doing? That one startled me. Key to the Archive, they're gonna get a broken spell from their nasty little spellbook. I have Key to the Archive in this deck, too. And they discarded Entis Restoration, which is some more ramp. So they said, I have enough ramp, I don't need any more ramp. What else do we have? Even though Shattered Sanctum is better fixing, I don't want to show them that I drew another land. So now I'm just chilling, I'm holding up Disdainful Stroke because they have enough mana for Shelob. This is 2 more mana. I'm being hit for 1 at a time. Bit by bit, the Kami of Bamboo Groves will try to kill me. I could Thoughtseize. I could play Saruman. I'm probably just gonna vibe, chill, hang. If they don't cast anything before my end step, we will discover the formula! It's a really good card. Come on, play the spider. Alright, there she is. Got a Coldsteel Heart. We have a Saruman. I could just discover the formula here. Nah, I'm gonna go for the Coldsteel Heart. I'm going to name blue. I'm gonna Thoughtseize. Achoo! Huh. I see. That's not a spider. Does this person have spiders? Hold up, I think this is just a Golgari Good Stuff deck. This is just Golgari. Alright, well, I'm going to adjust my strategy now to compensate for the fact that our opponent is just playing the goods. We know they have a Shoulder's Edict, so throwing down Saruman is not very good for me. We'll just pass the turn. That's a spider, technically. Faceless Haven. Do I want to take a hit here, or do I want to discover? And maybe we can take it next turn. I'll just discover the formula. Whee! Oh, would you look at that? Free mana. Would you like to sacrifice your Wolf Willow Haven? Sure looks like it. They're setting up for lethal next turn. Arcane Signet into Narset. They'll be able to make me sacrifice the Narset. That's fine. Wandering Emperor, Elspeth Conqueror's deck, and the Meathook Massacre. I'm gonna go with the one that kills these two. Just easy peasy. Oh, wait, one sec. I'm gonna play this first so I can hold up my Arcane Signet. 1, 2. Here we go. Now we're holding both Infernal Grasp and Wash Away. Would you like to get rid of Narset? You got the mana. Bye, Narset. Now they could play Shelob, I think. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. No, they're actually off by 1 for playing Shelob. Here comes the Faceless Haven, and we kill it. I do lose 2 life, but that's better than losing 4 life. And now we can try to gain some life using Sheoldred! Whenever I draw a card, I gain 2 life. Whenever they draw a card, they lose 2 life. Wait, is it time for more kill spells? To protect? To attack. We know they have a Blood on the Snow here, so I'm just going to let that happen. I actually think that it's better for me to keep hitting Shelob. Shelob is going to be hard for me to deal with when she's down on the battlefield, just knowing what I have. So playing proactively, knowing they have more removal, we'll chill. We have a wash away. Great. Here's Saruman! The Eldest Reborn! Nah. Nah. We have a Field of Ruin. I don't need to show it, but I think I will. Just get it out onto the battlefield. In case of a questing beast and a double spell here, I'm going to leave Saruman back. Don't feel like I need to swing in. Here's Shelob! It doesn't matter what side I cast. Bam. Got it. Welcome to Top Deck City. I'm not going to play that. I'm going to pretend I actually have things, and I am going to attack in, since right now they left this in the graveyard and I have no idea why. Is it for Blood on the Snow? Probably. They have 5 snow sources. They would need a 6th to reanimate Shelob. Oh, Kami of Bamboo Groves, he's just a little guy. Just a little guy. Listen, we knew it was coming. Once again, Saruman of many colors. And pretending I have cards. Shh. It's fine. So I think that that was just like a classic they miscounted, or they have more reanimation. We'll find out. We'll find out. Kami Bamboo Groves. I will block. Turn of Wildspeaker. Listen, I can afford to play my commander again. And I don't have a double spell yet. Slowly, they are losing life here. We could replay Saruman, or we could hold the Sublime Epiphany. I mean... Listen. Listen. I know what I'm doing here. I'm holding counterspells. Anything? Nothing? Great. Eventually we'll get to the point where we can cast Saruman and do something with this, or we'll get one of our creature lands, or a different utility cards. Oh, look at that! A Memory Lapse! Since we have the Memory Lapse, I am willing to play Saruman, since we are now holding the Memory Lapse up. Whatever they have, it's something that requires a creature as a target, because suddenly they're holding a bit more control. But can they get through the ward? Maybe not. If they do target, we're gonna wait until they pay the ward. And now we're going to Memory Lapse it. They won't even be able to cast it, because now they can't play the ward. Swing in for 5. And chill, hang, vibe. Excellent. Two more life remain. Aw, dang, that's crazy. That's so wild. Just getting an extra trigger off our Meat Hook Massacre. Getting myself an easy second spell to cast during a turn to trigger Saruman. And winning the game. GG. in the battle between Sarumans. Who wins? Well, I've got 3 colors, and they've got 3 colors, which means we're both the Sarumans of many colors. I like that they have the Gandalf, I have the Teferi avatar, and we've both established ourselves as bad guys right off the bat. I'm gonna take that Eternal Wanderer and throw it away. My god, an Arcane Signet! Their ramp is far more impressive than mine to start. I'm still gonna play it. Coldsteel Heart, naming... Oh, let's go for black. That gives me a double black, double white, double blue. Got this Castle Locthwain. Mind Stone. Ooh, they're ramping. The Call of the Ring. Oh, that's a little bit more flavor than I have in my deck. I clearly have been beat here. I think I will play a Glacial Fortress. Tippity tap. Go for Elspeth's Nightmare on an empty board. Phage, the Untouchable, thank you for the 3-month resub. I promise I won't try to cheat you into play. They got the Bing Bong Ding Dong Midnight Clock. They saw me leave open 1 mana. They know I have a Wash Away. But I was holding that Wash Away because Saruman's a good card. Let's see what you got. Elspeth's Nightmare, Kaya's Wrath. Call of the Ring, by the way, needs you to have a creature out to use as a card draw engine. Fun fact. I can certainly go for a counterspell here. I don't think I need to. I'd rather get Teferi onto the battlefield and start plussing. They did become tempted by the ring when I entered the battlefield, but they weren't able to draw a card because they didn't have anything to choose as their ring bearer. Just a weird piece of interplay right there. And we will untap, holding open, Wash Away. They've been tempted by the ring. An Elite Spellbinder! Yes, exile something from my hand. What do you choose? They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana available. They went for Discover the Formula. Yep, that's smart. This thing can get tempted by the ring next turn. But only if it exists on the battlefield, which it won't. X equals 1 on Meat Hook Massacre. We plus. And our opponent leaves the game. Because we are the monsters. Extus, Auric Overlord. Extus is a very cool Mardu Sacrifice commander, where you actually usually don't cast the front side. It's all about Awaken the Blood Avatar. Awaken the Blood Avatar is a spell that's quite good, but not so good against what I've got here, which is counterspells. The reason for that is because you have to sacrifice a lot of things in order to get there. But this deck has a backup plan, which is going wide and sacrificing weenies to win the game. All right, we're gonna name blue on this so we have all of our colors. That's a Sunfall. I will absolutely take having a board wipe in hand, even though I can't cast it yet. Right now, Dovin's Veto is really my only castable spell. Bam! Holding up a counterspell. All I need. My chat got real quiet when I called myself a nasty girl. They're just like, oh, is she really? Yes, absolutely. Have you seen this deck? This is the nastiest of nasty girl decks. A Nested Chambler, a Garrison Cat. Things that when they die, they give you another guy. Grim Initiate. Hi, Grimbo. Take my Temple of Temple of Enlightenment. Discover the Formula is great, but right now I'm just going to scry for another land so we can get to our Sunfall. Would you like to sacrifice? You have 3 sacrificables. But I also have Dovin's Veto at the ready. Nope, they're not sacrificing, or they would do it before attack, since this has an on-attack trigger. And a Cruel Celebrant. Playing the Scrylands. Vibing, hanging out, having a good time. Could have gone for Shuldred that turn, playing Takanuma, but I'd rather just hold my counter spells and wait. Oof. Oof. Ow. Owie. So many little guys. Sushi! Actually, that's totally fine to be on the battlefield. Because it's going to be exiled. Sunfall. None of those get their on-death triggers, and I have a 5/5 in waiting. Yep. exiling board wipes. We've had 2 of them printed in like the last year and a half, and they are terrifying. Talking about Farewell and Sunfall, and they're both in this deck. Yep. Oof. We got Veto, Sabotage, Ashiok, Shuldred. Nice. So look at this. Playing the front side of the spell. There is nothing in the graveyard, so you can't bring any non-legendary creatures back. We're in a pretty good spot here. Do you want to go for Shuldred, holding up Veto? That sounds pretty good. So I'm going to play Shuldred. We're holding open Dovin's Veto, and we have the ability to turn this Incubate into a 5/5. Whenever our opponent draws a card, they'll lose 2 life. And whenever I draw a card, I will gain 2 life. Ooh, swords? Nah. Shuldred has to live forever. And your creatures will stay dead forever. GG Exodus. Tiny Bones makes you discard and draws cards at the end of turn if you did. This is a keepable hand. We've got a Dark Ritual, Celestus, Saruman, all these fun things. We might go for a very uneventful Dark Ritual here, but I think it would be great for me. We're going to do it. Dark Ritual into the Celestus. Reason, it's ramp. Listen, there's turn 1 Soul Rings and there's turn 1 Celestuses. I'll take it. This will also get me filtering if my opponent does not cast any spells during their turn. And they might not. Underground River. Oh, we draw. And we drop Cruelty of Gix or Kaya. I'm gonna drop Temple of Deceit here. Fruity Warrior, thank you for the 3-month resub, and I will sip. And I will Sabotage Sinisterly. Forsaken Crossroads on top of my deck. I'll take it, and our opponent won't, because I countered their commander. Your commander only costs 2 mana. You'll get him back. GG, I guess. Mary, Esquire of Rohan. I don't actually know what he does other than has haste. Here we go. He has First Strike as long as it's equipped. And whenever you attack with a Mary and another legendary creature, you draw a card. Cool! Haste! I'm gonna use Authority of the Consuls. No haste. No haste. Authority of Consuls means that Mary will come in tapped. It can't hit me right away. This is so cute though. It's just a little tutu. Rahilda, nice. Rahilda will come in tapped, but will demand that I take action. Otherwise it will become nighttime and she'll be hitting me twice. Let's see, Abrade, Assad. I don't have anything for them to exile right now, so I guess I could hit the Abrade, even though there's no targets for that either. I will hit the creature. This looks like it has a bunch of legends, and since Rahilda will be stealing from the top of my deck, they have a card advantage engine out. Pretty good. Rahilda found Swords to Plowshares. There's no target, but the next time they attack with a wolf or werewolf, Rahilda, they'll be able to do it again. Thank you for the life gain. I appreciate it. More blue. It's now nighttime. I don't have anything I could cast there, so they'll be stealing from me twice. I have a Disallow. I could technically stop them from drawing a card. I don't think I need to. I think we're just gonna go for a board wipe next turn. See what they steal. Step 1. Stealing. Midnight Clock. That's disallowable. And discover the formula. They don't have enough mana for that, so I think they'll go for the clock. Ooh, it's Loran! I'll let you destroy my Authority of the Consuls. Or will I? Nah, I'll keep it. It's so nice against somebody that wants to have haste. In this way, look, I'm destroying even more things. I got to gain 1 extra life. Yes, it makes a difference. And everybody dies. Mary back on the battlefield. Gains me 1 life. I have nothing I can play here, but I'll hold open this counterspell, Kindred Denial. Urtai, another counterspell. I'll take it. Yeah, you should definitely be casting a spell for me, so I can get a card. Preferably something that costs 3 so I can get a mana rock. It would be cool. Saying. It'd be nice. Just saying. Boop. I take 2. And they just pass the turn. What do I crave here? Counterspells. I wonder if they'll attack with the Den of the Bugabug. If they animate it, I can happily kill it with Urtai. Den of the Bugbear becomes animated. I'm going to wait until they attack in, because that way they don't have the mana for a Braid. I'm going to destroy the Den of the Bugbear. They do get the 1/1. I could block the 1/1, or I could block Mary. Look, I gain a life. Swords to Plowshares. Alright, not only did they have mine, they also had theirs. I don't get the block. I think it was worth a try. Field of Ruin. Saruman of many colors. If they'd like to, they can remove it with Conclave Tribunal. But, this is a big old booty here, a big old butt. They have to discard an enchantment, instant, or sorcery. I see an instant that they could discard. That's a ton of value for just attacking through. It's a 2-for-1, and we'll be able to undo it since Conclave Tribunal has a mana value of 4, and we could hit it with Elspeth Conquers Death. Instead, it looks like they're going for Method's Enthusiasm. Very enthusiastic. I'll just put that back here in the command zone. We got Oracle of the Alpha, Ashiok Nightmare Muse. We see they have an Angel Fire Ignition. They'll be able to buff up one of these creatures. So let's see. If they go for a Braid, followed by Angel Fire Ignition, they'll be taking out Ashiok. Actually, wait. Will it be just short? Never mind. It's just short. 5... No, it'll get there, because it's +2. Not +1, it's +2. Oh, but 6 loyalty. I know, I'm blocking it. Ashiok sticks around. And Redan taxes almost everything in my deck. Dang it, Redan! I'll get myself a blocker, shuffle the Power 9 into my library, and pass the turn. We've got our Sant coming. They can draw a card if they attack with Mary. Angel Fire Ignition. Well, we saw that coming. And we counter it. Conclave Tribunal, tapping all of their creatures, exiling Ashiok, so I stop making creatures. Entirely fair. I'm unable to use Elspeth Conquers Death because of Redan. Redan has taxed it. And I would like to scry, so I'm actually going to attack with Oracle of the Alpha. Woo, Kaya! I have enough mana for this Kindred Denial. I have 6. So if they try to cast a spell, we will counter it. Well, if it's an important spell, I guess. That's an important spell. Invasion of Gobakon would have been exiling that from my hand, but more importantly, it would have been giving them a shield for their creatures. A baffling end! They draw a card and hit me for 5. Hi, Kaya! We're gonna use Elspeth Conquers Death. So we can return Ashiok to the battlefield, so we can make another nightmare. Spooky. Very spooky. We still have 5 lands. We've built up our value. We've got a bit of insurance for a creature or planeswalker, since we'll be bringing something back. And right now there are a couple cards in exile. Not even ones that we have specifically exiled, like that Angel Fire Ignition just gets exiled because of flashback. Could be some good stuff for us to steal. Yep. I'm going for Kaya. Oh, they threw it right back into my hand. We draw. And I'm trying to think if I have something cheeky, like, I don't know, getting something into my graveyard here. We can Infernal Grasp our own bird just to make it bigger and shuffle the Power 9 into our library again, but I don't think I need to do that. Taking out Redan. Playing Celestus. Swinging with the Oracle. Ooh, a Ruby. Don't need it. And hitting face. Sure, I'll draw. Thoughtseize? I don't need a Thoughtseize. All I need is these. So this is actually has to counter. So I'm not able to do anything. Chandra's gonna come down. She's gonna plus, that's gonna put a little clock on me, but we have Kaya, which does mean I'm able to exile Chandra, or exile this to bounce that into hand, something, something, something. Yeah, we'll just get out Kaya and get rid of the... Chandra! No more Chandra! Excellent! Go to combat. Swing with the Void. Sweet, sweet. It's a land. My turn. I'm going to cycle Rafine's Tower. Grab whatever card's on top of my library. It's Shelly! That'll help. Get that stabilization tech. Sure, I love putting things in my graveyard. Disdainful Stroke. I feel like almost everything that makes a difference here is going to cost 4 mana. So I'll take the permanent versus the temporary counterspell. Chromatic Lantern. Sheoldred. Insurance on my Sheoldred in case she dies. And swinging in again with the Oracle. Internal Wanderer, I'll take it. It is a board wipe on a Planeswalker. It's pretty dang good. Nah. Only I can have the Wanderer. You can't have the Wanderer. Gonna play with fire. Burning me just a little bit. A little bittle. It's daytime! I'm gonna decline even though it would gain me more life because I do want the card that's on top of my library. I could use Sheffet Dunes for a one-off buff. Oh, they're just going for damage straight to my face. Bones! We gain the life back. I take a damage. We draw some cards, gain some life. Saruman, do you want to come out here? Do you want to, like, come be a big boy for me? Going to get rid of their token. Why not? I'm going to throw a counter onto this Oracle of the Alpha. Swing in. I'm keeping that on top because I have a suspicion that I'm either going to be Field of Ruining or drawing and dropping. Isamaru! Okay. I'm destroying their Ramunap ruins. They don't have enough red to actually sacrifice it. And every day we're shuffling. Bow. Plains. Could it happen? Could I actually play my commander? Well, not with a Sublime Epiphany in hand. Why would I ever do that? I'm going to realize I had lethal through removing our opponent's stuff. Get our Hall of Storm Giants, swing with everybody. It's not as spicy, but it should do the trick. Cute. Good game. I missed the lethal this turn, but that's just fine. We'll take them down, remove all their creatures, and have enough advantage on the board to win the game. GG. Zurgo and Ojutai! It's a dragon and an orc together riding into battle at the hasty speeds of haste. Also with hexproof. So this is a counter or die kind of card, because once it hits you in the face, you also get to anticipate. They get a card from their top 3 into their hand, which gives them access to more cards like counterspells. I am going to keep this hand because we have a way to counter their commander. We have a way to hit their hand and destroy a non-land permanent. I will start with something that comes into play tapped. I don't need the Disdainful Stroke on turn 2. Right now I have no way to make this come into play untapped, so I'm gonna go with that. Find a stone. Cool. They have ramped. Arcane Signet. They are indeed very rampy. Tome of Legends! Whenever their commander attacks, you can turn that into card draw. I'll ramp with my own Signet. Get ready for Disdainful Stroke. Is it time for Zurgo and Ojutai? No, our opponent just passed through the turn. Interesting. Interesting. Oracle of the Alpha. Found a counterspell of theirs. We've got some more interplay of our own. No. Do you have a counterspell? They do! Spell Pierce! Alright, they were ready to protect. And here comes Zurgo and Ojutai. Boop! Do you think they'll put Zurgo and Ojutai back into their hand where it's at risk of being countered again? Or keep it on the board knowing it's at risk of things like board wipes and other removal? Probably depends on what they get. They put it back into hand. Interesting. We've got to make it disappear. Orcus Bowmasters and Elspeth's Nightmares. This is going to seem weird, but I'm just going to throw down Elspeth's Nightmares into an empty board. It's got 3 chapters. Chapter 1 might not do anything, but Chapter 2 will give me good information on their hand, and Chapter 3 will be exiling their graveyard. I'm not able to counter their commander. I leave off Make Disappear right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, they've got enough. Post-combat, I'm just gonna slam down an Orcish Bowmaster. Ping their face for 1. Bing bong! Show me your want to see the kind of spells you have in hand. Alright, Swords of Plowshares, Lightning Helix, and Chemist's Insight. No Lightning Helix. Have your card draw. And eat it too. Would you like to draw some cards? Asking for a friend who likes when you draw cards. It's the best use of their mana. But they probably don't want to use the Swords of Plowshares on Orcish Bowmasters. Now, they might still do it. I don't know. Get him! They drew a card! Enemies, villains! Destroy them! More! More! Do it again! Is ya? Orcish Bowmasters. It's a good card. They're going Ojutai or Chandra. Nice. So Chandra will be able to plus or minus here. I can try to get them to tap out, but I'd rather just have them do the thing. I assume that they're going to minus kill the Bowmasters. It happens. Bye, Bowmasters. And to make it disappear to stop and Swords of Plowshares? It happens. Would you like to play your commander? Can you play your commander? They've already played a land for turn, so no, they can't. Boop. Bye, Chandra. Bye-bye, Graveyard. They can cast that Chemist's Insight before it goes away. Discarding that, probably Inspiring Vantage since it comes into play tapped. Do I want to counter this? No, not really. What I would like to do is hold open a counterspell, but I know I'm not going to have enough mana for Make Disappear specifically against Zurgo no Ojutai. So we're just going to chill. We have a 5/4 on the battlefield. And if I'm able to double cast spells, they don't have a graveyard now, but we'll mill and hopefully be able to get something back. Saruman of many colors. Use Wizard Blast. Oh, okay. They're River's Rebuking. Putting my sweet little Signet and my Saruman back in hand. The monkey! What do they steal? It's the Eternal Wanderer. Oh, good news is they can't cast it. Bad news is I can't cast it. Monkeys out here doing monkey crime. Every ding dang day these monkeys are out here doing monkey crime. Here comes Saruman to haul a Storm Giants. I have 2 animatable lands. Cave of Frost Dragon, Hall of Storm Giants. I'm able to block on the ground, but not in the air. If Zurgo and Ojutai want to come out, they absolutely can. They'll hit and they'll get card advantage too. That's a bona fide Teferi right there. Yeah, plus or minus? Minus? Alright, though that means that they have to pay the ward cost, discarding an enchantment, instant, or sorcery. They discarded Memory Lapse. I guess I'll just put Saruman back in the command zone. Is it time for the monkey once more? Bankbuster first, and now time for the monkey? The monkey! Excellent work, Ragavan. They found a negate. That's not very helpful here. But it means I don't have a negate. Checking my mana for this. Signet. Cave of the Frost Dragon. And knock that Teferi off the battlefield. They have the card advantage, I do not. And since they're not keeping any of their creatures on the battlefield, I'm in a kind of weird spot with the Sunfall. You beautiful dashing cards. Boop, boop. A Swords to Plowshares! I don't think you want to use that. At least Ragavan is just kind of getting them stuff off the top. It would be cards that some of them I would like to have, but this is acceptable. Hopefully I'll find some card draw soon. A nice little draw engine would be good. Or we could just replay Saruman of many colors! A little bit before I started recording this video, the One of One ring was officially announced to be found. It has been graded, so it is known to be not a fake, and that's pretty dang good. All right, we're gonna go for Farewell. They have a lot more artifacts than me. Wait, one sec. Just want to make sure I'm tapping here. There we go. Yep. And even though I want to steal things from their graveyards, not that much. All modes! If only I had my Teferi so I could cast it at instant speed. But I don't. Ragavan, once again! The monkey! They can pay the two, so it doesn't make sense for me to use the Make Disappear. I'm down to 6 life. They've been hitting me over and over. I think that Authority is something I want to cast. Authority of the Consuls is going to mean that I won't have a blocker, even if I do play a creature. Just in Otawara. But that gives me something I can do. Authority of the Consuls back into my hand. Haste. Haste. Enters the battlefield tapped. No more haste. I didn't find my answer. They found my answer. But their hand is still full. I'm sitting on these. Like, I just have to hope they play their things onto the battlefield and we are finally set up for Sunfall. Finally! Wouldn't that be great? Oh, hey, Chandra. She can't be countered, so Make Disappear does actually nothing. But all she needs to do is plus, and in a couple turns, I'll be dead. A monkey! A monkey! I gain a life. Yay! Good monkey, though. Hitting for 7. Hitting for 4. Playing the Saruman. I have no great moves here. I have a bunch of very medium moves. I'm gonna go straight for face. And you are not going to get anything good, right? Oh, wait. They found lethal. Lightning Bolt's all it takes. 2 from the monkey, 2 from Chandra, and 3 from the bolt. Any instant speed gaining life here? Sort of. I can Teferi's Protection, which means my life total can't change. And it's gone. Because they Thoughtseized with my Thoughtseize. Ow, oof. Owie. My bones. GG's, Zergo and Ojitai! Atrios, Shroud Veiled. Ooh, somebody who cares about creatures and their death. Or exile. We're gonna mulligan here, and we did get a 1-lander. But I do believe in the heart of the cards. I'm going to be able to do something off this. I have 1 mana and 1 mana spell. If we get to a second, we have the Signet. If we get to a second, we have a Dark Ritual. Is it a good hand? No. Is it the hand I'm gonna keep? Yep. Alright, Atrios, let's do this. So for Atrios to really do his thing, he needs to be on the battlefield, and so do other creatures. Since we have so few creatures in our deck, I actually have one of them in my hand here, that's not as big of a threat as it would normally be. We also have ways to get rid of Atrios, even if he's not a creature. Though if he's a creature, it's easiest to best exile him. And they're going to be doing enter the battlefield good stuff, because that's how you get the best value out of Atrios. I've got my second land. See? Always had it. Always had it. Believe in the heart of the cards. They didn't shock that in. Interesting. Let's see if they have a Mana Tithe. No Mana Tithe, no problem. All right, we now have Arcane Signet, which gives me access to up to 5 mana next turn. 6 if we draw a land. A Chromatic Lantern. We just hold, saw it coming. I'm probably just gonna go for Oracle of the Alpha. I can hold a Counterspell here, but I don't feel like I need it right now. Up to 5 now, and Baneslayer Angel! Listen, that's a good card, but it's also just gonna turn into 5 life, I think. See if they go for Atrios. Archon of Justice! I'll counter that, sure. And even though I have my little fancy board wipe here, whoop, I wonder if this is... an Orzhov Rare's Ion deck. Totally possible. Swing in with the Oracle of the Alpha. Teferi. Sounds appropriate for this deck. I'll foretold I saw it coming and pass the turn. Up to 7 mana now and Sanctuary Warden. We saw that coming. And our opponent is going to concede, because we are playing Esper Control, and it's not very fun. Acererak, the Arclich! Acererak is typically a combo commander, where you play Paradox Engine, just enough mana rocks, and then you keep casting Acererak until you win the game. Acererak is kind of strange because of that. It means that you're not actually playing around Acererak or dungeons at all. You're just casting things over and over for the sake of getting Acererak. So they probably have a bunch of tutors in this deck, a bunch of removal, and though black doesn't have that much protection, there's still some they can run to try to get where they want to be. I don't really have to worry that much about these first few turns because it's about setting up for the long game for them, so we can just get out our ramp. I have ramped. Yes, when people joke about Paradox Engine comboing with a Stiff Breeze, Acererak is one of those small gusts. Oh, okay. Our opponent did not cast anything? They could have cast that Null Priest. I'm not actually sure why they didn't. But, sure. Alright. You do you. I'm gonna see what they have in their hand. Cruelty of Gix, Chapter 1. What you got? Why were you holding open 3 mana? Alright, so I only have one thing I can hit here. They have a Thought Distortion. That will absolutely decimate my hand. You know, they could have cast that Elspeth's Nightmare, and they didn't. They were holding up power word kill. Interesting. Okay. Well, since we know what they have in their hand and we want to get rid of it, I am going to find my dear friend Thoughtseize. At least I know what's up. Thoughtseize sees the thought and gets rid of it. That thought distortion is absolutely terrifying for us, so we want to get rid of it. And right now, I mean, I could certainly hold open Disdainful Stroke or play Narset, but I can't do both. So I'll just pass to end of turn. And here comes Azarak! Hi, Azarak! They venture into the dungeon. Returns to their hand. Great. If I want to, I could do something stupid with Urtai, but like, there's not that much. I'll show y'all what I'm gonna do. I don't need this counterspell because I have so many others. It's just like, I'll play this. Urtai. I have an Urtai on the battlefield. We get this Null Priest. Cool. Efficient mana usage. And since I got another blue source, Narset! Stop their card draw. I'll minus. Void Rend or Dark Ritual. I'll take Void Rend. Swinging for 3. And they're meeting, and they're hooking, and they're massacring. Do I care that much about these two dying? No, not really. Field of Ruin, more lands. Grab this. Chromatic Lantern, Baleful Mastery. I'll take the Lantern. I'm actually just passing here. Nothing. Classic. Discover the Formula plays. The Eldest Reborn! Great, I discovered the formula. And that formula says, dang! That only costs 1 mana now. Good for me. And our opponent leaves the game. GG. By the way, I don't actually think that was combo Azarak. Based on how they played, that was just mono black control Azarak. Thank you all so much for watching this episode of Brawl Stars. As always, if you'd like to find me streaming live, you should come over to twitch.tv/Amazonian. It's actually my main channel where I play tons of historic Brawl. I do a lot of drafts, and I have a big, fun time. This deck, not really my style. You probably noticed that I don't feel super comfortable playing Esper Control, or even building Esper Control, but still get to play the villain every so often, and we tried to have fun while we did it. Saruman of Many Colors is one of the best Esper Control commanders, in part because it's in Esper colors, and it rewards you for playing Control. That's really all that you need. Similar to Kesa, this is a card that just protects itself better. It gives you value if it sticks on the board, but it's probably going to be removed, and everything else in your deck is really what's getting you the value. If you enjoyed this deck, it is in the description of the video, and if you'd like to help support my channel, I do have a Ko-Fi link, which helps support me as a creator. If you want to drop maybe $5, help me do what I do, I really do appreciate it. Thank you to everybody who's contributed so far. You have made my life easier, and I really, really do care. Thank you so much for watching, and have a brawlful day.